Arise News Chief Correspondent John Cookson now joins me from Tel Aviv. Well, John, good to see you again. U.S. Secretary of State is in Cairo tonight, but he returns to Israel tomorrow. How significant is that? He has also visited other countries, but what is the importance of the U.S. Secretary of State coming to the region of conflict?
Yes, it's a return for the second time in a week. And he's returning tomorrow at some point to brief Netanyahu on what he's found in his six-nation tour of Arab states, all of whom have varying degrees of influence with Hamas. The hope here is that he's laid the groundwork for some releases of potential hostages, although expectations are not very high on that. You'll recall that he came to Israel 2 days ago and pledged full US support to Israel, and then went on to Jordan, where he met with King Abdullah and Mahmoud Abbas, the PLO president, and then went on to Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, and also Egypt. So, as I say, all of those nations have varying degrees of influence with Hamas, and the problem that they all have is that different factions in Hamas are holding hostages, and each wants a different deal. No doubt money is involved in that. So anyway, he's trying, and he's hoping that he can come back to Israel with some kind of consensus from all the Arab nations that things can not wind down, because this offensive is definitely going to happen as soon as Israel is ready, but the civilians can be protected to the utmost degree. Now, tonight, Washington has announced that it's been told by Israel that Israel has turned the water back on in southern Gaza, which is a huge step forward for those hundreds of thousands of people who've not only lived there permanently, but those who've moved from the north, where conditions are absolutely horrendous. And you saw from my report the suffering of the people that just goes on and on. So the fact that Israel's turned the water back on is a good sign for all of those people trapped in the south of Gaza. Ruben.
Yeah, but John, despite Israel pounding Hamas positions, their rockets are still getting through to cities like Tel Aviv, where you are. Tell us more. What's the situation in Tel Aviv?
Well, look, the sirens wail every now and again, a couple of times a day in the early evening. And last night, the sirens wailed. I don't know whether we have pictures of that. And on the ground, at least, and here they are, this debris that we're looking at the moment is either a rocket or drone that got through and did damage, or it's the debris from a rocket or drone that was taken out by Israel's very highly effective Iron Dome system. But some damage done, but fortunately no injuries or deaths. But it's just a constant reminder to the people of Tel Aviv and elsewhere in Israel, which has also come under rocket fire in recent days, that Hamas is still around despite Israel bombing them for 8 days now. And I think that's the significance of those attacks, which of course is what Hamas wants. They want to frighten the Israeli people.
Okay, John, Palestinians were ordered to flee from the north to the south of Gaza ahead of a possible ground invasion. What are the conditions like today?
Absolutely horrendous, although now the water's been turned on down there, things will have slightly improved. At least they can perhaps boil some water if there's any fuel, or have tea or something like that. But ironically, just on the other side of the border in Egypt, beyond the Rafah crossing, hundreds and hundreds of trucks are lined up with vital food supplies, medicines, other essentials, including coffins, I have to say, which the Palestinians desperately need. Sadly, they desperately need coffins to bury their dead. But the Israelis are not allowing the trucks to pass through, saying that they won't give consent until some of the hostages are released. And we learned today that 126 Israeli hostages are still being held, other nationalities too, including 10 Brits. But it's ironic, is it not, that just across the border, which is just a few kilometers from southern Gaza, all this aid is standing by. It's come from the UAE, Jordan, Turkey, into the Al Arish airbase that we're looking at here. But the Israelis say it can't move, and not until some hostages are released.
Well, thank you very much, John Cookson, and thank you very much for joining me on This Alive, this Sunday talk show. And as I've always said throughout the week, keep safe. That's more important to us.